Hello everybody, my name is Dan and this is my series of practicing English. Oh, today the weather is not good. I think I love the cold weather because it's easy for me to get to sleep, but in the morning the temperature was about 22 degrees. Oh, I feel uncomfortable about it. I felt uncomfortable and it makes me wear a lot of things. Wear a lot of things that I wear two shirt and wear a trouser, very hard. And then at morning, I have 4 classes and I have to do with them. It okay, it's very conclusion is very uncomfortable, and now I can't stand I can't stand with uh, low degree lower degree, but in this book they have to deal with uh, lower than the lowest degree, which is negative about 60 minus 60 Celsius centigrade. Oh my god, I think they really have their mind because they have a goal to do. So I think I will read chapter 7. Chapter 7, Motor Sledges and Mountains. Scott had two motor sledges now. They were the first motor sledges in the Antarctic, the first on Earth. On October 24th, the motor sledges started south from Cape Evans. 4 men went with them, but Scott stayed at Cape Evans for another week. Oates was unhappy. He wrote to his mother, "We had a very bad winter here. I don't like Scott. We were here all winter, but he didn't learn to ski or to drive dogs. Our equipment is bad and he doesn't think about other people. I'm going to sleep in his tent on the journey, but I don't want to." On November 1st, Scott and Oates and 6 men left Cape Evans with 8 sledges and 8 ponies. The ponies walked slowly because their feet went down to the snow. It was hard work for them and they got tired very quickly. They traveled 13 or 14 kilometers in a day. Behind the ponies came Mires with 1 sledge and some dogs. Mires knew how to drive dogs. Every day Mires started to do 2 hours after bunnies and arrived 2 hours before him. After 5 days, they found the motor sledges. The Norwegians began again on October 20th. There were 5 men this time: Amundsen, Magellan, Wisting, Hassel, and Hansel. They had 4 sledges and 48 dogs. There were a lot of wind and fog. On the first day, Wisting's sledge suddenly stopped and back went down. "Come on, you dogs. Come on, you dogs," he said angrily. "Pull, pull." At first, nothing happened. Then slowly, the sled moved again. Wisting looked down over the side of the sledge. Under the snow, there was a 50 eat the whole. Did you see that? Amundsen said. The eye wants to eat us, man. Dogs, sledges, everything. One fourth day when reached the depot at 80 degrees south, there was a bad snowstorm, but they found the flags easily. Next day, the men stayed in the tents, and the dogs lay in their holes under the snow. They were unhappy. They had a lot of food, they had good equipment, they were warm, and they could travel fast. Next morning, the snowstorm stopped and the journey began again. Today, everything is wonderful, Magellan wrote in his diary. But where's Scott? In front of us or behind? There was no one with the motor sledges. They were broken. Scott looked at them angrily. It doesn't matter, he said. Teddy Evans and his men are in front of us. They're good men. They're pulling their sledges themselves. We can, we can get to the pole on foot. Oh my God. Ox looked at mirrors. Ox and the ponies were tired, but Mirrors and his dogs were not. The snow was home for them. That night, Ox rode 3 motor sledges at 100 pounds each, 19 ponies at 5 pounds each, 30 dogs at 1.5 each. Well, it's not my money, it's gold. On November 21st, one of the bunnies died. On November 11th, the Norwegians saw the mountains. The mountains were very high, some of the highest on the earth. Magellan smiled. There is a good skiing up there, wrote. He said, but can dogs get there too? Of course they can. Amundsen said, come on. They left the hostel with the dogs and skied a little way up to the mountains. It was difficult, but the mountains were big and beautiful. Behind the mountains, Amundsen thought there were a high plateau of ice. That's it, Amundsen said. That's the road to the pole. Tomorrow we can bring the dogs and sledges out here. But now, let's have ski race. Who can get back to camp first? They laughed and skied happily down to the white snow. This is like home, Magellan thought, but it's bigger than Norway and better. In the next 4 days, the dogs pulled the sledges 81 kilometers and went up 2,000 meters. At last, Amundsen and Magellan stood on the plateau behind the mountains. They were tired but happy men. Magellan looked back at the mountains. Can a motor sledge get here? He asked. Amundsen smiled. No, he said, I don't think so. And Scott doesn't like dogs, so his men are going to pull his sledges up these mountains themselves. Would you like to do that, Olaf? Olaf? Magellan didn't answer. He smiled, skied heavily away across the snow. Chaffed across the plateau. On November 21st, the Norwegians killed 30 dogs. They were happy, Amundsen said, and now they're going to die quickly. We need 3 sledges, 18 dogs to go to the pole. When the dogs would die, the other dogs ate them. The men ate them too. They were good friends, but Jalen wrote in his diary, and now they are good food. 2 days later, the dogs were fat. Then, in an old storm, they began the journey again. After the storm, there were a frog, and the fog, and in the fog, they got lost on an ice river with hundreds of big holes in it. They could see nothing, and it was very dangerous. In 4 days, they moved 9 kilometers. But the ice is beautiful, but Jalan wrote blue and green and white. This is a wonderful place, but I don't want to stay a long time. After the ice, there were strong winds and vast snowstorms. They could see nothing in front of them, but every day they traveled 25 or 30 kilometers. Then, on December 9th, the sun came out. They were at 88 degrees 23 south minute, south 107 175 kilometers from the pole. 5 more long days, Magellan wrote. That's all now, but where's Scott? For 4 days, Scott's men stayed in their tents near the mountains. There's a bad snowstorm outside Oak Roads. It too cold for the ponies, and our clothes and ski are bad too. On December 9th, Oaks killed the ponies. They were tired and ill, and they could not walk up to the plateau. Then Mercurius and his dogs went back to Cap Evans. We can pull the sledges ourselves. Scott said, "We cannot do it. We can't do it. We are all strong men." There are 2 sledges and 8 men. They went 24 kilometers a day. On December 31st, Scott said to Teddy Evans, "And the man on the second sledge, you can ski well. Leave your skis here." So they pulled their sledge 24 kilometers without ski. Next day, Scott went to Teddy Evans' tent. "You are ill, Teddy," he said. "You can't come to the pole. Take 2 men and go back tomorrow." Teddy Evans was very unhappy. "2 men, Captain?" he said. Why not 3? "Because Brownies is going to come with me," Scott said. "He's strong. We need him." "But you have food on your sledge, and for your 4 men, not 5, Evans said, "and Browers has not ski." And Browers has no skis. And the captain, Teddy, Scott said, do you say do you do what I say? Take 2 men and leave Browers with me." Oates wrote to his mother, "I'm going to the pole with Scott. Please, I feel strong." But in his diary he wrote, "I feel very bad. And they're always wet now, and they don't look good." On January 4th, Scotsmen left Teddy Evans and went on. Scott, Oates, Wilson, and Edgar Evans had skied, but rowers did not. They were 207 kilometers from the pole. Okay, December 14th, now 1911 was a warm, sunny day. 5 Norwegians skied over the beautiful white snow. It was very quiet. No one spoke. They were excited and happy. 6 more kilometers. Magellan thought, "Is there a British flag? I can see a flag, but look," Hassel said, "what's that over there?" Magellan left his sledge and skied quickly away from over the snow. What is it? He thought. Is it? No, it's nothing, he called. There's nothing there, nothing. 3 kilometers to row. Hansel called to Amundsen. Go in front of me, please. It helps my dog. That's, it, that's not true. But Jelen thought his dogs are running well today, but Hansel wants Amundsen to be first. The first man at the South Pole. Skied on and on over the beautiful snow. Stop, Amundsen said. He wanted quietly for his men. This is it. This is it, he said. But Jelen looked at him. But there's nothing here, he said. Amundsen spied. Oh, yes, there is, he said. There's something very important here, love. Very, very important. Well, what's that, Ro? Us, we're here now. Isn't that important? Oh. The foreman stood on the snow and looked at him. Then slowly they all began to laugh. And finally, chapter 9, the end of the race. The Norwegians stayed 2 days at the pole. They left a tent there with Norwegian flag on it. Inside tent, they left some food, a letter for the King of Norway, a letter for Scott, a letter for the King of Norway, a letter for Scott. Okay. They left some more black flags near the pole and 128-kilometer north and 128-kilometer north. Then they ski away back to the north. It's a beautiful day, Bajalan wrote. The sun is warm, the snow is good, but the dogs run too quickly. I can't get in front of them. They found their reports easily. There were 10 between the pole and Frame. Each report had a lot of food. They laughed and skied quickly down the mountains. Often they skied 50 kilometers a day. On Friday, January 26th, 1912, they came back to Frame. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. Inside a wooden house, Lindström cooked. The cook was asleep. Amundsen walked quietly to his bed. Good morning, Lindström, he said. Is our coffee ready? The black flags waited at the pole. What's that, Captain? Brower said. Over there. Where? Scott asked. What? Oh my God. They all saw a small black flag in the snow, 2 kilometers in front of them. Slowly, they pulled their sledge to it. Next day, January 17th, 1912, they found the tent and the Norwegian flag. Near it, Scott took the British flag from under his clothes and put it up. In his diary, Scott wrote, "This is very a bad day. We are tired and have cold feet and hands. It is negative 30 Celsius degree and there's no storm. Great God, this is an awful place." They turned north. 5 tired, unhappy men in the coldest, emptiest place on earth. On March 13th, 1912, Scott's wife Kathleen looked at her morning newspaper. Norway's flag at South Pole. It said she looked at it for a long time, then began to cry. What's the matter? Her friend asked. My poor husband, Mrs. Scott. Miss Scott said. What's happened to him? Where's now? Scotsmen were always hungry. There there were not many depots, and they were very difficult to find. We need to find the next depot today, Ox wrote. But how can we find one black in all the snow? It's very difficult. And here, and there is food for 4 men, not 5. They were all tired and ill too. Ox's feet were black now, and he could not feel them. On February 16th, Edward Evans died. Oh, Edgar even died. On 19th, on the 19th, they were past the mountains. At the depot, there at the depot, there they ate one of the dead ponies. Then they went on 10, 11 kilometers a day. They were ill because their clothes were not warm and they didn't have much food. The temperatures were sometimes negative 40 Celsius centigrade. On March 7th, Scott looked at Oak's feet. They were big and black. I can't pull the sled now. Oak said, it's very difficult to walk. I'm going to lose their feet, Captain. Scott looked at Oak's feet and said nothing. On March 9th, they found another depot, but there was not much food. So slowly they walked on. Oak's feet were worse every day. March 17th was Oak's birthday. He was 32. He lay in the tent and listened to the wind outside. He was very cold, very hungry, and very, very tired. He wrote a letter to his mother and gave to Wilson. Then he got up and opened the door of the tent. He stopped in the door for a minute. Scott, Wilson, Rowers looked at him. They didn't speak. I'm going outside for a minute, Oak said. Maybe maybe sometimes they didn't see him again. Oh, poor him, really poor him. At Cap Evans, the Englishman waited. On December 11th, Mares and the dogs came back. On January 3rd, Teddy Evans and his 2 men arrived to Cap Evans. The Terra Nova came and went. Winter began. Scott did not come. The Englishman waited all the winter at Cap Evans. Then on October 26, 1912, they started for the south. 2 weeks later, they found a tent. There were 3 bodies in the tent, Scott, Wilson, and Rowers. They put the bodies under the snow. Then they took the men's letter and diaries and went to North Cap Evans again. In Scott's diary, they read, Ox died like a good Englishman. We all did. Please remember us and look after our families. We did our best. No one found Oak's body, but he's there somewhere under the snow and the wind, in the coldest, emptiest place on earth. Oh my gosh. Oh. Yes, finally I did it. This is the end for today. This is the bad ending. And you know who wins this race? Yes, the Norwegians. The Norwegians wins this race, and the Englishmen lose, and they die. Oh, that's a bad happy ending. That bad ending. So this is the end for today. Thank you for listening. Until next time.